Adjust revenue. Today I will teach you about something that almost all of our customers have called in about at least one time. It's an area that you'll want to know well before you try and use it. Adjust revenue is a feature in OpenBook that should be seldom used. When you adjust revenue, the adjustment amount is posted on the reports on the business day you make the revenue adjustment, even if you're making the adjustment to a rate on a future date. Once a revenue adjustment has been made, it cannot be changed or deleted because it becomes an inactive line. We'll talk about what this means in a moment. The adjustment also posts on the invoice, making it more cluttered. All other alternatives should be tried before using adjust revenue, especially update item, which works very similarly to adjust revenue, but it's easier to use and can be changed at any time, even after the item has been updated. Please watch the update item video for more information and use that method to change the rate rather than using adjust revenue if possible. To adjust revenue, open the Edit Daily Reservation screen of the reservation you wish to use and then go to Edit Invoice. At the top of the Edit Invoice screen, highlight the specific night of stay that you would like to adjust. It must be an active line in order for the adjustment to work. Now this part can be confusing to a new user of our system. An active line is meaning that it's a line that posts the charge on the invoice and the reports. An example of an inactive line is a line that was updated using update item function after the close of business day. Let's say I updated a past line and showed a $100 charge to make it an $80 charge. In this case, I'll see three lines: the old rate of 100, an automatic adjustment of -100 because the business day for the updated item has already been closed, and a new rate of $80. The old rate of 100 and the automatic adjustment line of -100 are both inactive and cannot be adjusted. Once an active line has been selected, select Adjust Revenue from above. The Adjust Revenue screen pops up, and here you type in the amount of the adjustment to the revenue. This part can cause you grief. Make sure you understand what you do cannot be undone. To decrease the revenue, enter the amount as a negative number. To increase the revenue, enter it as a positive number. This part's confused quite a bit. Negative number means you're decreasing the amount. Positive number means you're increasing it. Then click OK. The same tax currently applied to the adjustment charges will be applied to the revenue adjustment amount you enter. This is also a part that you really want to fully understand before you make an adjustment. For example, if my lodging tax is set to 10% and I do a revenue adjustment for $50, meaning I'm taking $50 off of my revenue and doing a negative, once I click OK, the revenue adjustment will be -$55 because the 10% tax will be added to it. This also means that if the reservation is currently set as tax exempt within the Edit Daily Reservation screen, and then I adjust the revenue for $50, the revenue adjustment will remain at $50 and no tax will be added to it, since the reservation was exempted prior to the revenue adjustment being made. If a revenue adjustment is made to a reservation with applied lodging tax, and then the reservation is marked as tax exempt, no changes will be made to the revenue adjustment, and it will keep the applied lodging tax. Because all revenue adjustments are final, they cannot be deleted, changed, or tax exempted. For this reason, all tax exempt reservations should be tax exempted prior to performing any revenue adjustments. Once the revenue adjustment has been made, a new line item will be added at the top of the Edit Invoice screen, with the amount of the revenue adjustment showing on today's date, like so. This adjustment to the revenue will be reflected on today's management reports once today's business day has been closed, regardless of the original date on the line you wanted to adjust. Be cautious to not adjust more than the charges for the line item selected. One active line could be adjusted multiple times, and if more is adjusted than the original charges, the total negative adjustment amount can exceed the total positive amount, leaving the total charges in a negative. You see what I mean as confusing. Since revenue adjustments cannot be changed or deleted once they're made, please be certain you understand how revenue adjustments work before adjusting the revenue. Always double check that you have the correct night of this day highlighted and the correct amount to revenue adjust typed in before clicking OK to adjust the revenue. If the adjustment made was in error, the best way to correct it is to select the same active line item that was adjusted and enter the same adjustment amount, just the opposite sign. For example, if I made a negative $50 adjustment to the lodging line by mistake, I can select the line again, click on Adjust Revenue again, and make a positive $50 adjustment. Please note the adjustment amount for any positive line will default to a full amount of the line with a negative sign in front of it. Make sure you're always entering the desired amount with the proper sign in front of it. If a reservation with an adjustment to revenue needs to be canceled, first, reverse the revenue adjustment by doing a second revenue adjustment, as discussed above, for the same amount with an opposite sign, and then cancel the reservation. If you forgot to adjust revenue prior to canceling, just offset the adjustment by updating the price of the cancellation fee in Edit Invoice, or by adding a point of sale item with the proper account code such as lodging adjustment and a tax group. The point of sale item will be recorded under Other Revenue on the Daily Revenue Summary Report, and the original revenue adjustment will be recorded under Room Revenue, but the total revenue will be balanced out, which is the goal. You can see how using this can make your books a mess if it's not well thought out ahead of time. As mentioned above, it's highly recommended to use any other method of updating the room charge, if possible. Update item can be used in place of adjust revenue and should always be tried first. The only recommended use and time for the adjust revenue function is in case your property's customer would like the adjustment to be reflected on their invoice separately, instead of just showing the decreased rate. For example, if the original rate was $100 and the customer wasn't happy with the service and wanted their invoice to reflect the actual $20 adjustment to arrive at $80, you can use adjust revenue. If the customer is satisfied with seeing the reduced $80 rate showing on their invoice as one line item, then just use update item for a single line, or rate override for all room rate lines are recommended. You should try to make all rate changes to a reservation while the reservation is being entered prior to the business day being closed. This will keep your management reports, edit invoice, and print invoice clean and easy to understand. And thank you for looking at this training today.